What's shaking and baking, cool cast? Hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon and your comfy home. What's going on? I'm yours truly, Gideon Amonko. Call me G Money if you want to. And hope everyone's staying safe from this virus that's going on. It's really unbelievable right now. And hopefully everyone can be strong and stay safe. So with that, let's talk about some juicy hoops news. Starting on Tuesday, the chef, the babyface assassin, Steph Curry, lit up MSG by surpassing Ray Allen's 3-point record. And he did that in 511 fewer games than Ray Allen. Ray Allen had to do around 1,300 games. Salute, Z. Salute everyone in the chat. Salute everyone in the chat, by the way. So Ray Allen broke Reggie Miller's record at the time in 1,300 games when it was against the Lakers. The chef able to shatter that, build up to shreds in the Big Apple against the team salute spree against the team he torments a lot in MSG in 511 less games. Steph Curry's now the 3-point king of the world. So I'm happy for congrats to Steph Curry for doing it on national televised on TNT in MSG. Congrats to Steph Curry. And with that, let's start with during the week. On Sunday, if you look at Sunday, the Bucks took down the Knicks earlier in the game that Milwaukee never trailed at all. Quinn Grimes was hotter than a furnace, gained 27 points, but it wasn't enough. The Nets took down the Pistons. Durantula had a lot of venom in his veins, torturing the Pistons with 51 points in that game. A buck 51, 3 points away from his career high. KD was just dead-eyed that night, and the Nets took down the Pistons 116-104. The Mavericks took care of the struggling Thunder 103-84 without Luka Doncic. The Spurs, yeehaw, took care of the Pelicans 112-97 on Sunday. The T-Wolves took care of the Trail Blunders 116-111 at Rip City, Portland, Oregon. And the Lakers, who had a 3-game winning streak that was kaput last night, they took down the Magic 106-94 last Sunday. On Monday, the Cleveland Cavs continued to be piping hot, extinguishing the heat 105-94. The Dubs survived by the skin of their teeth in Indy, overcoming a 5-point fourth quarter deficit to win 102-100. Chef Curry had the dagger three to pull within 198. They had the Dipsy Do layup to tie it up. And then Kevon Looney, Johnny on the spot, put the offensive board in, and the Warriors win 102-100. The Raps put the Kings to extinction on Monday, 124-101. The Rockets blasted off after being down by 19 in hot Atlanta, 132-126. The Celtics took down the Bucks at Beantown, 117-103. Chris Middleton hyperextended his knee, by the way, and the Greek Freak is in protocol, so we don't know when they'll come back. Then after that, the Grizzlies body slammed, wallop, ran through, put a muck on the Embiid-less Sixers on Monday, 126-91 at the Grindhouse. The Mavericks clobbered the Hornets 120-96. The Nuggets beat the Wiz 132-107. And the Clippers killed my Suns 111-95. And bad breaking news for New York fans. Miles McBride is now in health and safety protocol, so he won't be playing for a while. He won't play tonight in Beantown, which stinks. And then Durantula, KD, surprisingly, is the 8th Nets player to be in protocol, and he won't be able to play. And sadly, he might not even be back by Xmas time against the Lakers. So that'll stink right there. So no Deuce due to the fact that this darn dastardly protocol, and no Durantula to wreak havoc in LA because of this protocol. So big losses for both teams. So, and Zach is right. It is Kemba time. It's Kemba for him to feast in the TD Garden tonight against his former squad himself. So those are two big losses for the Knicks and the Nets. Because the Nets also, don't forget too, they don't have James Harden, James Johnson, DeAndre Bremy, Marcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, and Javon Carter too because of protocol. So the Nets are just losing bodies. But hey, the good news is that Uncle Drew is looking to boogie oogie oogie coming back. He's going to come back from this. My guess is he will come back on Christmas Day against the Lakers, but he won't be. It'll be a part-time thing. He's only going to be playing road games outside of New York and Canada. So yeah, that's the thing with Kyrie. So Tuesday, the Nets survived by the skin of the teeth, 131-129 over the Raptors. The Dubs took down the Knicks for the eighth straight time in MSG. The MSG is like a playground for the Warriors. They beat us 105-96. My young and fun Phoenix Suns took down the Blazers 111-107. Portland blew a 4-point lead with a minute to go. And the Bulls games, because the Bulls games against the Pistons and the Raptors were postponed due to the fact that so many players are in protocol. DeRozan just got out of it, but Kobe White, Levine, a lot of players are in protocol. Lee Johnson. So the Bulls games against the Pistons and the Raps have been postponed. On Wednesday, let's see. On Wednesday, you got the wine and go Cleveland Cavaliers just prevent a rocket launch as they clobbered the Rockets 124-89, the game they never trailed, to get their fifth straight win. The fifth straight win. The Hawks took down the Magic, predictable, 111-99. The Miami Heat flambéed the 76ers at the Brotherly Love on Wednesday, 101-96 in Philly. Vincent was cooking that night. Vincent was a beast that night. Vincent had 26 points, hit the dagger three to get the Heat the victory. The Lakers had to go to the nail, due to the death with the Luka-less Mavericks. Lakers win 107-104, and that game was so unbelievable and juicy. The Mavericks had a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Lakers stormed back, got the lead. It was back and forth, nip and tuck. No one's going to let the game go. The Mavericks were just a hair away of pulling the upset. I remember LeBron James clunked the three-pointer. KP and Kleba had the rebound. They're fighting for it, lost the rock, and Ellington splash cashed the long ball to tie the game. And then crazy things happen in overtime. Hardaway banged this three to tie the game at 101. Russell Westbrook smacked his long ball to put the Lakers up 3, 104-101. Then Kleba called bank to tie the game at 104. And then Austin Reeves had ice water in his veins. Santa was kind to him early, and he canned the three to give the Lakers a 107-104 win at Big D. So good, and that was a 3-game win streak by LA, but it got snapped last night. You got the Greek Freak and Middleton Bucks wallop the Pacers 114-99. The Indiana was up 92-91, but Milwaukee goes on a 23-7 shellacking run. They had to pull that off. The Pelicans took care of the Thunder 113-110, and that game was also head-scratching and jaw-dropping. I remember SGA hit a thunderous bomb to tie the game at 110, and then Devontae Graham threw up a Hail Mary, and the bank was open on Wednesdays, and the Pelicans win 113-110. The Pelicans on a winning streak themselves. Then after that, you got the Hornets putting the Spurs in a swarm, 131-115. Gordon Hayward was stupendous, 41 points in that game. And the T-Wolves took care of the Denver McNuggets, 124-107. Anthony Edwards was a sharpshooter in that night, 10 from downtown, 38 points. Even sadly, Edwards is in protocol too, but Anthony Edwards in Denver was just magnificent. And Minnesota takes down Denver 124-107 at the Mile High. The Jazz take care of the Clips 124-103 on Wednesday. And the Grizzlies beat the Trailblazers 113-103 in Portland. And then the Kings take care of the suddenly slumping Wizards 119-105 in Sacktown. Then let's go to Thursday nights. You got the Pacers being the trash Pistons 122-113. You got the Nets surviving against the Sixers 114-105. KD was magnificent again, 34 points, 11 boards, 8 assists. Big game for him. The Knicks take care of the Rockets, and they beat the Rockets for the 5th straight time, dating back into the 2019-20 season. They beat Houston 116-103. So good win for New York there to snap their 4-game slide. You got my young and fun Phoenix Suns shining bright against the Wiz 118-98. Jerome McGee, the Shaq and the Fool King, has 17. That dishing, passing, no look passing, and he was just a whiz. The former Wizard made the Wizards disappear, and the Suns cast a spell on the Wiz. And then, like I said, the Bulls-Raptors game was postponed. And then yesterday, you got the Heat taking care of the Magic, 115-105. You got the Nugs taking care of the Hawks, 133-115 in hot Atlanta. You got the Dubs surviving by the skin in their teeth, 111-107 at Beantown. You got the Pels in the overtime filling the hood over the Bucks, 116-112. You got the Spurs, snapping the Jazz 8-game win streak, winning in Salt Lake City 128-126 to pull that off. In a cuckoo crazy ending at Salt Lake City, so the Jazz winning streak is kaput. You got the T-Wolves howling to a W over the Lakers 110-92. For the second time this season, they ran through the Lakers. Anthony Davis had 2 devastating injuries. The first injury, he almost hurt his ankle in the first quarter, and then in the third quarter, McDaniels accidentally fell on his leg, and then AD had a left knee contusion. He'll have an MRI today, and he didn't return. So we don't know how Anthony Davis is going to look. Yeah, so, and after that, let's hear from the new king of the three-point shot, Steph Curry. So some difficulties there, some technical difficulties there. So we'll get to that soon. So just go finish up with the scores. You got the Trailblazers snapping their schneid, their 7-game losing skid against the Hornets 125-116. My fault. And congratulations to Steph Curry burning up MSG at times. And hey, he's the new 3-point king of the NBA. It's going to take a long time for people to shatter his record. The dude can scatter from anywhere, long range, inside, drives. The dude can wear a blindfold, hold a million pieces, have a basketball in his hands, throw it up, and it'll go in. That's how unreal this dude is, man. Steph Curry is a beast, man. Man, the Knicks should have drafted him over Jordan Hill. That still hurts me to this day. But, hey, congrats to Steph Curry for being a new 3-point king, and he's trying to get his 4th ring this season. And with that, we still have more scores to figure out for last night. Last night, you had the Grizz taking care of the Kings 124-105. You know, Memphis has just been dynamite, winning 10 of the last 11 games without Ja Morant. So Memphis has just played stupendous basketball without Ja Morant, and Ja Morant has been jaw-dropping this season. They're going to need him if they want to make the playoffs and go far. So, yeah. So today's games, you got the Rockets and the Pistons. Right now, Rockets up early, 14-8. You got the Knickerbockers in Beantown against the Green Leprechauns, the Boston Celtics. Both teams losing players. Boston, no Al Horford. And for New York, you're losing our players. Then you have the Magic and the Nets. No KD due to the fact that he's in protocol. No Harden for a while. So the Nets are going to be very short-handed. You got the Dubs against the Raps. But here's the thing. Golden State's going to rest Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Iggy, Otto Porter, and another player against Toronto tonight. So the Raptors might get a break. Then you got the Clippers against the Thunder. That should be a win for the Clips. Then you got the Cavs against the Bucks, and Cleveland has just continued to skyrocket it. They continue to skyrocket in the standings. They won 5 in a row. The wine and gold Cavs have just been amazing this season, and they're a team that if they can keep this up, they're a team that can sniff the postseason for the first time since 2018. And they're playing against the Bucks. They're only a half game behind Milwaukee in the standings. Milwaukee right now is number 3 in the standings. Cleveland's number 4. So if Cleveland would have pulled this game out tonight, they'll leapfrog in the standings. And Cleveland's only a half game behind Chicago too. So who knows? If the Cavs continue to skyrocket and continue to roll, they might even get the number 2 seed in the East, which is crazy. No one expected that. And then you got the slumping Wiz against the Jazz. Both teams trying to recover from heartbreaking losses. The Wiz got clobbered at the Valley of the Shining Sun, and then the Jazz lost a heartbreaker against the Spurs. You'll see that game at 9 p.m. Last year the Wiz swept the Jazz 2-0, which is cuckoo crazy. So let's see what happens this time around. And the Wiz, they lost 4 in a row. They started off the season 10-3, but they've been in a downward spiral, losing 12 of the last 17 games. So Washington is just struggling right now during the crossroads right now. So the Wiz are just struggling. The Jazz, I'm not a believer in Utah for many reasons, but they've been playing good basketball. They're the number 3 team in the West. They're 20-8. They had won 8 in a row, but like I said, the Spurs snapped their winning streak last night. And then Christmas Day on Xmas, one of the biggest events of the year. Snow, happiness, presents, cookies, food, and hoops. Awesome hoops. So let's break each game down. At noon, you got Ice Train and the Hawks look to terrorize Madison Square Garden like they did last year in the playoffs. Then 2:30, you got the Celtics and the Bucks for the third meeting between the two squads. Milwaukee trying to break through on Xmas. Boston trying to win the season series. Then 5 o'clock, you have the Battle of the Titans, the Battle of the Heavyweights, the Dubs, the Golden State Warriors against my young and fun Phoenix Suns at the Valley of the Sun. And this will be the Suns' home Christmas game since 2008 when they lost since around 2007, 2008 against the San Antonio Spurs. So, and then you'll see that game at 5 o'clock on ABC. You'll see that game on ABC. Sorry, it's the Suns' first home Christmas game since 2009. Since 2009 against the Clips, my fault. And after that, 8 o'clock, you have the Brooklyn Nets against the LA Lakers. It was supposed to be super team versus super team, but that ain't gonna happen. And then you got the Mavs and Jazz to cap off the night at 10:30. So how can Kyrie Irving help as a part-time player? I think Uncle Drew can help a little because he can penetrate to the rack, he can stretch the floor, he can put up juicy floaters, he can hit clutch time shots, and he can take the pressure off Kevin Durant and James Harden. My only thing with Kyrie Irving is the fact that it's going to take him time for him to recover. It's going to take him time for him to recover on with this whole COVID situation. So that's the thing of why it's going to be hard for him to gel to start. But I think later in the season you can see Kyrie Irving playing up to his potential. No worries, Zach. You can click on the stream and you can jump in. We can talk about my young and fun Suns, which we'll see them on Xmas Day against the Dubs, a team that we can see in the Western Conference Finals. Who knows? We can see them in the Western Conference Finals. That will probably go 7 games. If we play them in the playoffs, that will go 7 games, in my opinion. I still got to see how Klay Thompson looks from injury. I got to see Jordan Poole, Damian Lee in the playoffs. Look, the Warriors are a team that does scare me a little bit, but here's the thing of why I think Phoenix could beat Golden State. Aiden can score in the low post and he can hit the mid-range. CP3, even though Chef Curry has owned CP3 at times in the playoffs in the past, Chris Paul has been Steph Curry before back in 2014. Chris Paul can use his mid-range shots and can throw up lobs to Aiden and McGee. And D-Book, he has a hamstring right now, so when he's healthier, when he gets healthy late in the season, he can cook it up, hit mid-range, long balls, attack the rack. And I think he'll make Klay Thompson work, though, because Klay is not going to be the same defensively with those injuries. So, yeah, with those crazy injuries he had. And I just think that, the Warriors, I don't know if I can trust Andrew Wiggins in the playoffs yet. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if Damian Lee's not been to the playoffs. Otto Porter, he's been to the playoffs a few times with the Wizards. Jordan Poole hasn't been to the playoffs. So I don't, personally for me, I don't see the Wizards, going far in the playoffs this year. I'm not Wizards, the Warriors going to the NBA Finals. I'm not a believer right now. So yeah, that's the thing too. So if you look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, if you look at the standings right now, you got Brooklyn number 1, 21-8. Chicago number 2, 17-10. Excuse me. The Bucks number 3, 19-12. You got the Cavs number 4, 18-12. The Heat number 5, 18-12. The Bumblebee Hornets 16-15, number 6 in the East. The Wiz, who are falling off a cliff, they're number 7, 15-15. You got the Sixers 500, 15-15. You got the Hawks and the Celtics even Steven at 14-15, 9-10 respectively. You got the Raps 13-15, and you got the Knickerbockers at 12, 13-16, and then the Pacers, 13-18. The other two teams don't matter. In the East, the Western Conference, you got the Dubs on fire, 24-5. They've won 3 in a row. They're 3-1 in the road trip. They're 5-game roadie. You got the Suns, 23-5, won 2 in a row. They're and here another more bad breaking news. Evan Mobley has now entered safety protocol for the Cavs. That's a big blow if you're Cleveland, because Evan Mobley is a nice player. He can shoot, he can penetrate, he's athletic, he can protect the rim, to rebound. That's a big blow if you're the Cavs, especially when they're playing great basketball. That's a big blow if you're Cleveland. And I remember when Evan Mobley has been out, the Cavs were struggling without Mobley. I remember they started off 9-5, and then Mobley gets hurt against the Celtics, and then they're going down here. Salute, G. What's shaking and bacon?
Hey, G Money. Just left Milo's game. Figured I'd have a few minutes to help you out with your podcast here. Talk about your favorite team, the Suns.
Thank you.
So I had a question for you about all these health and safety protocols. What do you think the chances are that the league gets shut down again?
I doubt it. I just don't see it. Because here's the reasons why I don't think the league is going to shut down. Money. They care too much about money. I'm sorry. They care too much about money. I just think that I don't see the league shut it down because I just think the revenue and stuff is what they want. And if they really wanted to shut down, they would have shut it down by now. So I just don't see the league shutting down.
It's good because you want to see basketball.
Yeah. If they were to shut down, I'd say for like a week or two. They won't go back to a bubble. That's not going to happen. Then they're not going back to a bubble.
Yeah. So Evan Mobley's out on the protocols too, huh?
Yeah.
That's a blow for a young team that's playing really well. I mean, the Cavaliers are overachieving right now.
That's
a big blow because he's been. What are your thoughts on him so far in his rookie campaign?
He's played well. He can shoot. He can put the ball on the floor. He's athletic. He can protect the rim. Pass. He's a good player. So
those Chris Bosh comparisons were sort of worth it, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. Some people say he's an SKG. I don't know about that, but Mobley's a good young player to have on your team. And Cleveland's been surprising. They're a team that might make the playoffs this year. So
yeah.
So if you're Cleveland, this is a big loss. Because I remember early in the season, right? The Cavs were 9-5. And then Mobley got hurt. I think he hurt his thumb, and he was out for a while, and then they ended up going down the drain. So if you're Cleveland, and don't forget, this is a big game tonight because you're playing against the Bucks, a team you might see in the playoffs. So that's a big loss in if you're Cleveland.
Yeah, and not to just bring us to the Knicks, but Deuce McBride. How many times are we going to get screwed by the protocols?
Man, we might be called the COVID. We might be called the protocol Knicks, man. It's craziness. It's like yo, it's like we just can't. For some reason, we just can't stay healthy, or something's going on. Like RJ, the good news that RJ is going to come back in Obi. That's the good news. But the bad news is that Deuce has been out.
And it
Grimes,
seems
nice, yeah.
every single time the young kids have a good game, this happens. Like they have a breakout game, like with Grimes and with
Mhm.
Deuce and with all these guys. It's like the only good thing that this protocols and G Money and that I think you're going to agree on for all teams.
Oh yeah,
It gives the end of the rotation guys a chance to show what they got.
right,
And for the Knicks, I mean they've had a lot of guys that have really stepped up.
right, and
Do
right,
you
true.
see
And
any possible other around the league, since you watch around the league more than most? Do you see any other possible like guys cracking a rotation because of this? Like they come in, they play really well. Do you see any
uh,
guys like, for example, the Brooklyn Nets, Cam Thomas? Could he possibly
oh, he'll be.
have a bigger impact because he, have a bigger role from all this?
I think he will though. And the Nets don't have a choice. Brooklyn doesn't have a choice. You don't have KD
I
for a
mean,
while.
after the protocols, G Money, like let's say he shines right now, for
Mhm,
example, and
mhm.
then when everything's sort of back to normal, when they have everybody back, they still get minutes.
I
Do you see
feel
anybody like
gets
that around the league?
I feel get some minutes, but not a lot. I think it
Okay.
kind of depends on the game. It kind of depends who they're playing. If it's against like a trash team, he might get some minutes. If it's against like a high level team, I doubt it.
Okay.
And speaking of injuries, look at AD. He hurt his left knee last night with McDaniels. So he's the good news is that it's in good structure, but he's going to take an MRI. I'm going to say this right now, and I don't know how bad this is. If somehow he's out for the season, it's over for the Lakers.
Uh, it depends. I mean, they're even with him, they've been underachieving. So maybe someone steps up. Maybe they get more play out of Taylor Horton Tucker. Maybe they get more play out of certain guys. They can
Right.
still make the playoffs. I don't
No,
think
don't
they
make
win
the
a
playoffs. We agree with
championship
that.
without
Oh,
AD,
don't
but
make it. Don't
they
make it.
can
Yeah, I
still make
agree.
the playoffs, and then hopefully he comes back. What do you think of Isaiah Thomas with his 19-point game?
He's playing. He played great. I mean, his
He looked like
jumper was flowing. He looked like the Boston Thomas out there.
Yeah, he looked back. He looked like his hips finally healed.
Hey man, look, he looked cool. And if I were the Lakers, you might have to re-sign him for long term. You might have to, because here's the thing: Rondo, you're not going to play Rondo a lot of minutes because he's getting old. So if you're the Lakers, you might have to re-sign Thomas for the rest of the season because you need a guy that can pass. He can pass too, to penetrate, that can shoot the ball, and he has IQ. IT has good IQ too. So
And
if
he's
you're out,
clutch.
and he's clutch too, man. He's clutch. You saw what he did in 2017 against the Wiz. Woo-wee. He has ice water in his veins. So if you're LA, you might want to keep Thomas for the rest of the season.
And he's a warrior. He can play through everything. We forget his sister died,
Yeah, rest
and,
in
and,
peace, sister.
and during that 2017 run, he played. He also played through his hip injury, and that's what caused the partial hip replacement that was needed. So
Right. Yep.
he's a
Yep.
warrior.
Right. And he's also and Thomas. And Thomas is not arrogant. What I love about IT, he's not arrogant. That's what I love about IT. He's a lot of fight. So if you're the Lakers, man, you might want to re-sign him now. And the Lakers, the problem with the Lakers too, the interior defense is trash. The rebounding is hot trash. You saw last night how many offensive boards the Wolves got. Vanderbilt had 16 rebounds. Big Cat was just eating up the Lakers in the post in the low block, and he was stretching the floor. The Lakers, man, they're just not consistent. The
No,
team,
and
they're not consistent. Yeah.
that comes with veteran guys that are so used to just turning it on in the playoffs. The regular season
Yeah.
looks inconsistent, and they're this is boring to them.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, there's a
And,
couple of other free agents that still have some game, or G League players. Like you look at Michael Beasley, he could come in and score for anybody if needed. Lance
right.
Stevenson could come in and give valuable minutes for anybody. Do you see any of those guys that are kind of on their way out of the league getting a shot?
Uh, if I have to guess, maybe Beasley, maybe he might get a shot somewhere. He might get a shot somewhere, but I don't really know. And Boston is signing Justin Jackson, which is good off the G League. Grand Rapids, good for them. Justin Jackson can shoot the ball for the Celtics, so I think some guys might be signed. So
I could
uh,
see. I don't know why the Portland Trailblazers didn't give Beasley a shot after summer league because
mhm,
Melo, when he left, had a key role in that team. I'm not
he
saying they
did.
were championship, but like he had that key microwave scorer, and
Mhm.
Beasley's that just and for cheaper.
Big time facts. If I were the Blazers, Beasley could have felt like you said he could create his own shot. He could go to the rack. he
can
can be
rebound.
he can rebound. He can be streaky sometimes, but when Beasley's hotter than a sauna, he can really light up the fields. You saw it with the Knicks. You know how many times he was clutch for us, man? Woo!
Hmm.
He
Well,
can
he's
hit.
streaky because he never really got a shot. I mean, you look at a number 2 overall pick, even when he was still a future piece for certain teams, he's only averaging like 20 minutes a game. So that
Right,
guy can still score in any league at any
right,
time.
right. And also, who is your MVP right now? Your MVP.
Oh, I mean, there's a few different candidates. Um, of course, Curry. Curry's a big candidate because of what he's done with Golden State. You could look at um, someone from your Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul, Devin Booker. You could look at um, a couple of different guys. I mean, right now I'd
Durant.
say Curry because still no Klay Thompson, still
Mm-hmm.
and he's elevated the people around him.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been playing really good basketball. What are they, second in the West behind
No,
Phoenix?
no, the first in the West. Phoenix is
First in
number
the
two.
West, they passed Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah. They're half game up on Phoenix right
Okay.
now. And speaking of that, we'll see those heavyweight titans on Christmas Day. That'll be fun. Hopefully, no protocol involved. Hopefully. Sadly, the Warriors lost Jordan Poole, so that's gonna be a big loss for them because Jordan Poole's played well for them too. So the Warriors, I think their ceiling is between the second round and the conference final. I don't think they'll make the NBA finals because here's the thing. I don't know how Klay Thompson's gonna look from injury. I don't know. I haven't seen Jordan Poole, Damian Lee in the playoffs. Draymond's a good defender that can pass, but still, Iggy's a good defender, but he's getting old. I think the Warriors at best can get to the second round in the conference final. What do you think their ceiling is?
That's about right. I agree with you on that. But that's still an amazing ceiling considering the team's nowhere near what it once was, and that's why I think Curry gets the MVP so far from me.
Oh yeah,
Who's your MVP?
Steph Curry by far. The chef, Steph Curry. I mean, almost averaging 30, leading his team to the best record in the NBA. This is almost the same roster, almost, that
Yeah,
missed the playoffs last year. Other than adding Otto Porter, Iggy,
losing Kelly Oubre.
losing Kelly Oubre, it's virtually the same roster that missed the playoffs. And this year, they're the number one seed in the NBA. They might win 60 games plus. They probably will.
Honestly, before the injury too, Ja Morant could have been a candidate.
Ja Morant was jaw dropping. Whoo, athletic, free, can pass, can rebound, improved his shooting a little bit. Ja Morant was marvelous, and the Grizzlies were winning. And speaking of the Grizz, what do you think about them without Ja Morant?
They're going to be up and down because that's their best player. But at the same time, I like Steven Adams on that team. I like what he brings to that team. I love Dylan Brooks. I like certain guys on that team. I think they can tread water. It just depends on when Ja comes back.
Sure, and they did more than tread water. They have been awesome. 10-1 without Ja. Look, they're not better without him than that, but I'm saying is that so far Memphis has done a good job treading water.
Yeah.
And you want to hear this, man? For a span of 5 games in a row, they never trailed it at all. Think about that.
Yeah, but that's not going to be sustainable, right? Because
right.
It's an 82-game season. They're going to need Ja back, and they're doing exactly what they need to do is win as many.
Right, because Josh is your best playmaker on the Grizzlies, like you said, and he's athletic, and he can get guys involved. I mean, and he can also attack the basket, take the pressure off Dylan Brooks. Yeah,
you have a chance.
Yeah,
if you can contend in the playoffs with Ja Morant, then they have a chance. I'm not saying they're going to win the title, but there's so much parity in the league now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a guaranteed team that's going to win. You never know what's going to happen with Brooklyn and injuries. You never know what's going to happen with Milwaukee or Miami or Golden State or the Suns. There's so many teams that could win it, and if the Grizzlies stay this hot and then they add Ja, they have a chance, dude.
They could be Atlanta Hawks 2.0, like
exactly.
Atlanta was, and you can argue this again. I know we don't want to go back into the past, but I'm just saying you can argue that if the Hawks were healthy last year, they could have been in the NBA Finals. You can argue that. So it's like, Memphis. I think they're a little bit too young, but they're a team that's gonna be a tough out because they pass well. Taylor Jenkins has done a good job. Also, Desmond Bain, he's been big too, and Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, and Jaren Jackson, you saw like last year he had the injury issues.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how impactful he is as a defender, a two-way player. Mm-hmm. He can do just about anything on the floor. And
right.
That dynamic in the pick and roll or pick and pop with him and Ja or Steven Adams setting good screens for these shooters. I like that team when they're at full strength. G Money.
Me too, man. They're gonna be a tough out for anybody, either against Phoenix, Golden State, LA. They're gonna be a tough out. But
Speaking
another,
of speaking of
yeah,
teams that should tread water, what do you think about Indiana doing this rebuild fire sale? Because
hmm
they have talented guys. Like, let's just take it for a minute.
hmm
Malcolm Brogdon, good basketball player,
right.
really good point guard. He could be a point guard on a championship team because
Yeah, I
he
agree.
can do it all, right? And
Yeah.
you have Chris Duarte, who can play the two,
hmm
who's really really good so far in
hmm
his rookie year. He's really good. And you
These.
have if T.J. Warren comes back, he's streaky, but he's a good scorer. Domantas Sabonis, all star,
hmm
and they got to let Miles Turner, really good center. We want him on our Knicks, but really, if I'm Indiana, I'm not quite blowing it up just yet. I want to see what these guys are healthy. I want to see how they
Good
can,
point.
if they can make it right, especially with a good coach and Rick Carlisle.
Yeah,
You
I
think they're
get what
blowing
you're
it up
saying.
too soon?
Yeah, I do think they're kind of blowing up way too early because again, they're still in the playoff race, though. It's not like they're done. They're still in the
Right.
playoff race. They have a shot to get to the play-in tournament, maybe get to the playoffs. So, like you said, they have good players on their team. Sabonis can pass, can stretch the floor, can bang in the post. Turner can
Chris
shoot, can block shots.
Chris Duarte
Brock,
is a good 3-and-D.
Chris Duarte, good 3-and-D guy, can shoot, athletic freak. He's a good player. And Malcolm Brogdon, salute Agent Super Argo. Um, Malcolm Brogdon can pass, can penetrate, good free throw shot, and even don't forget, Karis LeVert, bucket
Yep.
getter. So, if I were the Pacers, I think you're waiting way too early. I would wait. I would just try to see how this goes. I don't
Yep.
think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it because my top eight in the East. Again, I know it's early, things could change, but my top eight in the East, in order for me, maybe Brooklyn or Milwaukee 1 and 2. Miami number 3. I think Chicago gets number 4. I have a feeling they'll stay at number 4. I say Philly number 5.
Atlanta.
Atlanta number 6. You think Cleveland's making the playoffs?
We forget about Washington. Washington's had a
Washington,
resurgence.
that a resurgence to start. They've come down to earth a little bit, but the Wizards have been all
But you
right.
can't count them out of the 8 just yet.
That's true. I do think they'll be in the play. The Wizards might make the play-in. I think they might be in the play-in tournament.
I
I
think
don't
they got
know.
another run in them to make it serious. I think they got another 10-game run.
You think they can make the playoffs this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so because they play well together, and every team goes through slumps, but at the
Right.
same time, they've assured they could play well together. So we'll see. But thank you, Agent Super Argo. Salute to you. Salute to everybody in the chat. G Money, thank you for having me on your podcast. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome, man.
talking all basketball.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're free anytime. And my dark horse NBA teams that can still contend, like I said, there's Atlanta. They can turn things around. I'm not a believer in the Jazz. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer in the Jazz. Also you got the Cavs. My bold prediction, the more I felt long and hard about this, I think Cleveland might make the playoffs this year. I felt long and hard about this. I think the Cavs might make it this year. I
They
think
can.
I think I'm just put them at the number 8 seed. I think they drop to number 8. I don't think they'll stay top 4 because I think teams will get better. I think the Knicks, if they can turn things around, can be number 7. So my top 8: Brooklyn, Milwaukee.
What about Charlotte?
Oh, sure, I forgot about Charlotte, man. Wow, I can't believe I'm on the Hornets. Man.
The East is stacked this year, man.
The East is stacked. I got to take out the Cavs or Knicks, man, to put the Hornets in because I want to see LaMelo Ball, Scary Terry, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, Miles Bridges had a great season in there. So if I had to pick a team who I think might drop out between the Cavs and the Knicks, you think the Knicks drop out and you think the Hornets squeak in over the Knicks?
Yeah, I think the Knicks are in the lottery.
Okay, so you're saying that the Wizards make the playoffs.
The play-in, at least, yeah.
Play-in, playoffs.
If you're in the play-in, you're in the playoffs. That's the playoff.
Pretty much. You're seeing the Hornets make the playoffs. Where do you think the Cavs would be? Play-in or playoffs?
I think play-in because I think, with the protocols, I think it's going to start hitting them hard too. Evan Mobley's out. It all depends. Like when an Evan Mobley goes out, can a Kevin Love step up? Can what does a second unit have left in the tank? Jared Allen is the first player in NBA history. If he keeps his season averages 17 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, over 70% from the field. He'd be the first player in NBA history with
Beast,
those
underrated.
numbers.
He might even be an all-star. Don't forget, Darius
Well,
Garland and
first player in NBA history with those numbers.
big time facts. He's been had a phenomenal year. And don't forget, Darius Garland's played well too. He and Allen might be in the all-star team. And don't
they don't have
forget,
Colin Sexton back yet. Wait, if he comes back.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna come. He's not gonna come back this year because of the meniscus. But I want to throw this out there too. Did you know that Cleveland's hosting the All-Star game this year? So if you're Cleveland, that's great. You're hosting the All-Star game, and your team might make the playoffs this year. If I had to choose my top pick, who I think is going to make it, because the East is so stacked. Nets, Bucks, that's number 1 and 2. Heat number 3. I got the Bulls number 4. I got the Hawks number 5. I got the Sixers at number 6. I have a weird feeling the Cavs making the playoffs. I got number 7. Oh my God, number 8, man. Man, it's tough. You got the Knicks, you have the Hornets, the Wizards, the Pacers. Don't sleep on the Raptors, though. They've been a surprise team too. It's tough, man.
And that's what makes it great to watch. See what happens. There's going to be a lot of high leverage basketball games in the springtime. When it's a playoff race.
Right. If anyone wants to join the chat with Z and me, you can click on the link. You click on that link. And for the West, the top 8 for the West, I got the Warriors having the best record. I think Golden State's gonna go push hard for the best record. I got Phoenix number 2. My number 3, I got Utah. Number 4, if the Lakers are healthy, I'm saying the Lakers get number 4.
Where are the Lakers at right now, G-Money?
The Los Angeles right now is number 6. They're tied with the Clippers. Excuse me, they're half game behind the Clippers. My fault. So I think the Clippers drop a little bit. I got Warriors, Suns, Jazz, Lakers, Nuggets are number 5, Clippers number 6. I think the Grizzlies get number 7. And number 8, this is tough, man. It could be the Blazers, the T-Wolves. It could be the Spurs. Don't sleep on them. The Kings. Man.
Give me the Spurs. That's my pick because DeJounte Murray is playing like an all-star again now that he's healthy. He's a great two-way player. They got a lot of young guys. Lonnie Walker Jr. is from my area, from the 717 area in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. He's coming into his own as a young prospect. They got a lot of good guys, and you can't count out Greg Popovich. When you have a bunch of young players that play his system, I'm not saying they're going to compete, but I think they can get in the play-in with that 8th seed. But with that being said, man, I got to roll. I just wanted to stop in and support you for a little bit.
Thank you, man.
Peace to you. Peace to Bronx. Peace to the network, the chat, everybody. Have a good Saturday.
You too. Have a good Saturday. Stay safe, homie. And tell Milo I said hi, all right? And
all right, man. He won his game today, so 3-0.
Woo! Nice.
See ya.
See you later, man. So, yeah, Zach made great points. He made some great, awesome points. But we're just in New York right now, has just been hit hard with this protocol. No Quigley, no Toppin, no RJ, no Knox, no Grimes, no McBride. Rose has an ankle injury. He might not play tonight. We've just been banged up with injuries and stuff. It's going to be – I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs because the East is so tough, man. It's tough, man. And Alec Burks and Kemba, they're going to play. If I were Thibs, you got to play Kemba tonight. I understand Kemba's not a great defender. I understand that. But you might have to use him tonight to help us create offense if we want to make the playoffs and be a factor there. So, yeah, so that's the thing. And another thing, too, another team that people are really sleeping on is the Minnesota Timberwolves. The T-Wolves has just been balling 3 in a row. Minnesota's playing very good basketball. The Wolves right now, they wallop the Lakers. They're number 9th in the Western Conference. They're half game behind the Mavericks for 8. They're a game back behind the Nuggets for number 7. So the Minnesota Timberwolves are a nice team. Anthony Edwards has had an amazing season. He will be an all-star someday. Karl Anthony Towns has had a big-time season. He killed the Lakers in the post last night and stretched the floor. D'Lo, Mr. Ice in the Veins, D'Angelo Russell, even though he's kind of been streaky this year due to injuries and stuff, when he's hot, he can really stroke it So D'Angelo Russell's had a very good season. Has had a good season. Malik Beasley hit some clutch shots. Vanderbilt's played well, and Pat Bev, heart of a lion and the guts of an elephant. Pat Bev, hounding dogs, hitting big time threes. The Wolves have a team that has a good shot to make the playoffs. I don't think they will make it, but they're a team that will be in the play-in. Because my top eight in the West, my predictions are Warriors, Suns, Jazz. I got the Lakers at 4. I got the Nuggets at 5. I got my number 6. I'm gonna say the Mavericks. Number 7, I got the Grizzlies, and number 8, uh, it's between the Clippers or the Wolves. I don't think the Spurs make it, even though San Antonio has a good team. I just don't think they have enough firepower. It's between, for me, the T Wolves and the Clippers. If Kawhi comes back, I think the Clippers get in. If he doesn't come back, I think this is the year for the Timberwolves. The Mavs might drop out because the Mavericks, their roster is flawed. Their offense is trash. Their offense is inconsistent. The defense is just not that good. Just not that good this year. So I just don't see the Mavericks doing anything. I mean, look at this. Dallas, that's the thing. So I just don't see the Dallas Mavericks really doing anything this season much. The Mavericks are 26 in scoring. That's impossible. That's impossible. They're 26 in scoring. So I don't think they make the playoffs. The Clippers are 20th in scoring. I mean, understandable because Paul George missed games, Kawhi Leonard missed games. So understandable. If Kawhi were to come back, I think the Clippers make the playoffs. If not, then I don't know. What I'm looking for this upcoming week, Christmas, Xmas Day, and also to see which teams can try to avoid the health and safety protocol. And also, I'm looking forward to see a lot of great games coming up this coming week. You got Monday, Philly and Boston. That'll be a good game there. Tuesday, you got Phoenix and LA, my Suns against the uh, Lakers, and Z made a good point. Luka's still averaging 25, 8-8, despite that he's been pretty much out of shape though. Luka's done his thing, but it doesn't feel impactful right now. Luka's a great player. I love Luka Doncic. He's a great player. I just think he needs to be more impactful if they want to win. KP's had a bounce back season, so he's played well. If he can just stay healthy, they can do something. But they need Tim Hardaway to step up. Tim Hardaway's been trash this year. 38% shooting, that's unacceptable. If the Mavs want to get to the playoffs and be a factor, he needs to step up, man. I don't think the Mavericks make the playoffs though. No, Luka is impactful. I'm just saying he needs to be more impactful. Luka is great. I love Luka Doncic. But to be fair, and Zach made a good point, the roster is trash around Luka. The roster is trash. Tim Hardaway is inconsistent. Kleba is inconsistent. Trey Burke, I mean, he's getting old. And Z made a good point. KP and THJ should not be a supporting cast if they want to win a championship. And I agree with that. They need a true second option. The Mavericks need a second option. Jason Kidd, I mean, he's an average coach. Jason Kidd is an average coach. He's never been a great coach, man. He's only won one playoff series. So career, one. It's not a great coach. I'm sorry. The Mavericks just don't have enough firepower. The depth is trash. I don't think they're going to do anything. So upcoming week, Wednesday, you'll also have Cleveland, Boston. That's a good game. Two teams that we might see in the playoffs. You got Thursday before Christmas. You got Washington, New York. That'll be a juicy game. Atlanta, Philly. The third meeting already. The final meeting between those three squads. After last year's juicy second round matchup when the Hawks fly and soared against the Sixers in a 7-game series. And after that, then you got Memphis, Golden State. That'll be a big game there. They got Brooklyn, Portland, and then you got San Antonio and the Clippers, San Antonio and the LA Lakers. And by the way, that game will be the last home game of being called Staples Center for the Lakers because they're going to switch it to Crypto.com Arena, which I find that a stupid name. Crypto.com Arena, that's a horrible name. They might as well either kept it the Staples Center or just call it like Mamba Center or something. Like Crypto.com Arena, I'm not feeling it though. So yeah, I'm not feeling it. So, but my thing with some of these teams, man, my surprise teams right now, the Cavs, have been surprised. You can see the Wizards, even though Washington has cooled off. The Warriors have been a surprise. Um, the Bulls have been a surprise. So that's the thing. My disappointments, the Lakers, obviously, the Knicks, the Nuggets, they dealt with injuries, so I'll give Denver a pass. They dealt with injuries, so I'll give Denver a pass. The Sixers have been a little bit of a disappointment. The Hawks have been a huge disappointment. Here's what's crazy about the Atlanta Hawks, right? Atlanta is one of the best road teams in the league, but they suck at home. Atlanta, Atlanta at home is 8-7, but they lost their last 6 home games. While Atlanta is set 6-8 on the road, but they have won the last few games on the road, which is absolutely crazy, which is absolutely ridiculous. What's so crazy is that the Atlanta Hawks are better on the road. They've won their last, let me see, hang on. They won their last 5 road games, but lost the last 6 home games. That's unbelievable. So yeah, we gotta wait and see how next week goes. If it remains the same, I think some teams are gonna drop off. I think Cleveland might drop off a little bit. I think Washington, after that great start they had, they've been shaky. So they're a good team. The Wizards are a good team, but I don't think they're going far this year. So yeah, but this Christmas Day, yeah, I'll be here till 1 o'clock. I'll be here for 5 more minutes, and I gotta wrap up the stream. So far, this has been a crazy season. Hopefully, Anthony Davis is okay because the Lakers cannot afford to lose him if they want to go far. Don't make the playoffs, but if they want to win a championship, you're going to need an AD that can protect the rim. I understand AD has not really played up to standards due to the fact he's missing shots in the rim or missing jump shots. He's shooting 19% for free, which is terrible. However, Anthony Davis can protect the rim, can rebound if he puts his heart into it, and he's athletic. So if you're the Lakers, you do not want to lose Anthony Davis for the rest of the season if this turns to be a huge injury thing because Russell Westbrook, LeBron James can only do so much. So we just need to wait for the diagnosis with Anthony Davis if they want to go far. And that's the thing. For the Warriors, they beat the Celtics 111-107 last night. Boston's just been an inconsistent team all year. New York is playing Boston tonight at the TD Garden. The old rivalry. I don't hate Boston. I like the Celtics. I'm a Knicks fan, but I like the Celtics. The old rivalry. The last time the Knicks and the Celtics played each other in the playoffs was back in 2013 when New York beat Boston in 6. 2011, Boston swept New York for a zip. So that's the thing. With that, early in the season, the Knicks beat the Celtics in double overtime. So that's the thing there. So this should be another fun game. Sadly, we're not healthy. And Boston, they've lost 4 of the last 5. So the Celtics have just played poor basketball as of late. They just play poor basketball as of late. And unbelievable, Kyrie Irving is now entered to the COVID protocol. Unbelievable, man. Like, the Nets just can't catch a break, man. The Nets just can't catch a break. Now, Brooklyn has now lost KD, Uncle Drew, the Beard, and now Uncle Drew is now in health and safety protocol. The Nets are just they good grief Sharif, man. They've just been hit with this, man. Brooklyn just can't stay healthy. They lost the Beard, they lost KD, no Kyrie. So it sucks. That's a big loss for that team because Kyrie was about to come back, but now he's in COVID protocol. So that's just That's just crazy, man. And that Christmas game is going to be looking weird because now you won't even. I don't think you'd have the big three Nets. And here's the thing: Kyrie Irving needs 5 consecutive days of negative tests to even practice with the team, and now he's the ninth Brooklyn Nets player to go into protocols. That is unbelievable. No Aldridge, no Bembry, no Katie, no Harden, no Kyrie, no Devon Carter. That um, James Johnson, they just been hit hard with these protocols, and that is just really not pleasant to see if you're the Brooklyn Nets. And here's the thing: the good news out of all this is that protocols may go COVID, excuse me, the virus, I should say, will go down a little bit. The fact that when you're in the springtime, it won't manifest as it is now. So expect these things to go down. But it's just unbelievable that the Brooklyn Nets just can't stay healthy. The Chicago Bulls can't stay healthy, and it's absolutely crazy. So for tomorrow's schedule, you got, and also you can join me and you can join my show in podcast platforms like Anchor FM, Spotify, Reason FM, Google under BX Sports Jedi. It's network to support all of us. A Heart Radio Apple. So I'm gonna be here for 2 more minutes and I have to bounce. So tomorrow's schedule, you got the Heat and the Pistons at 6. You got the Blazers and the Grizz tomorrow at 6. The Spurs and the Kings at Sacktown 6. You got the Pels and the Sixers tomorrow at 7 at City of Brotherly Love. You got the Red Hot Cavs against the Hawks in a back-to-back tomorrow at 7. You got the Nets and the Nugs at Brooklyn, 7:30. You got the Lakers in Chi-Town against the Bulls tomorrow at 8. You got the Mavs and the T-Wolves at 8 o'clock at the Twin Cities. And then you got the Suns hosting the Bobby Hornets at the Valley of the Sun tomorrow at 8 in Phoenix. So that's the schedule for tomorrow. So one more thing before I wrap up the stream. Enjoy your Christmas. Have a happy new year. Stay safe. Don't do anything crazy or stupid. Watch a lot of hoops. Enjoy your turkey. Enjoy your ham. Enjoy your Christmas cookies, your eggnog. Slurp a lot of that. Have a good night. Rest. And hopefully you can enjoy your Christmas, your New Year's Day with family. And with that, I'm gone. Deuces.